Hello. So today we're going to be playing Disco Elysium. I'm going to capture it quick. At disco.exe. Perfect. Okay, so last time we did this, we managed to get the body down from the tree. I think that's where we stopped. So, okay, I should slow down a little bit. So, we started the game, I think it was on the 10th, like a week ago. Something like that. It was a while now. But anyways, we started up the game and we met our protagonist, whose name we still do not know. And we met our protagonist's partner, Kim Kitsuragi, who's sort of a by-the-books guy who holds himself to stricter standards than he holds others, I guess is a way to put it. He's very orderly, but not in a way where he's an asshole. He just kind of likes things to be ordered. So, let's see. Oh. It was a while ago, actually. Wow, I haven't been able to stream this in a bit. I thought it was like the 10th, but no, it's like last played this on March 31st, apparently. Okay, so we've got this body down. Now we just kind of want to figure out what to do with it.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. The belt is still around his neck. His body is supine and open to intrusion by autopsy. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Okay, let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there with a limited capacity.
Your marks on my gardening gloves, that's funny.
I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes.
Oh, it's a good thing we got this then. We've got the field autopsy form.
That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
First, let's do something more abstract.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Can't get the damn compartment in my ledger open. Let's ask the dead guy how to do that.
The Blue Heart. Oh, that's good shit. Just press down and fuck it open like you always do. Fuck it hard, Copopo the Clown.
Okay, which was it that killed you then? Love or communism?
Huh?
You said love killed you, but when you fell down, you said it was communism.
You're misquoting me, Rooney. I said communism killed me. Love did me in. Come back later, Copo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features, if possible. Also, see me in your dreams.
Okay, let's open our ledger.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists. describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
Okay, let's be a boring cop. Let's fill this out.
That's you.
Only the first question and already I don't know the answer.
Not an energetic start to an autopsy, I agree.
Pig's messed up. Kuno feels pity.
Just leave it empty, officer.
Okay.
the corpse lies there, indifferent to your retrograde amnesia. The next box says,
Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. I was worried that I kept myself muted. I think I can turn the game volume up a little bit. Because I'm not speaking when the voice lines come out, and that's the loudest thing here. Coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815. Next.
Got it. Name.
NA. Next.
Date of birth.
NA.
Age.
Roughly 50.
Right. Roughly 50.
the corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Race.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex. Yes, please.
Male.
Pig's gonna have sex.
Great pig's gonna have sex. What should I do? I kind of want to do the comedy ones, but I've kind of been doing this straight-laced. I don't know.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK
Okay.
57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatments.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
How did you not know that? Aren't you a cop? You're leaving a weak impression here. Say something sure-handed. Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
I'm not so sure.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Road, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else.
Like, we're getting these spectral stories about what's happening to
And so, all across Jamrock,
cops
Coal
through
City,
the history of this
GRIH,
place.
42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse
Okay.
cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
Turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
Okay.
Tattoos. The upper torso is
Tattoos.
covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Okay.
The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Okay.
Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
I'm gonna touch the hair.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
Stroke his hair gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread off a rag doll's head. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Write it down, adding the brilliantine.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max.
Velocity was fucking max.
Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark.
Ligature mark. The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
Concentrate on the belt, not on who is whose pig. There is no pig. There are only the chain cutters and the belt.
Okay. Can we get out of this dialogue quick? Equip the chain cutters. Or are they automatically used? Hmm. Okay, okay.
After some deliberation,
Whew,
you pull the
success.
cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Press down.
The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing
All
the
right.
dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
Lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Okay.
Chest
Write
is
that
intact.
down.
Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Inspect the genitals. Okay. We gotta check.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Yeesh. Yeah, not super pleasant. Does it look like he was enjoying his moment of death?
Ah, yes, your hunch before. We can have a semen analysis requested from processing, if that's what you meant.
Yes, processing science, that's what I meant.
Just write down that we request an analysis.
The corpse with his pants down does not have an opinion on the subject. All he has is genitals and a deathly odor.
Okay, write it down.
Back
Add
is
the semen
symmetrical and
sample.
intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Okay, combat
In
injuries.
addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
Hold on. Let me move myself just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. You can see my face in the text.
Last item, hands.
Hands. Pick up the hands.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from? And what's your name?
Okay, my name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Kobo. What can I do for you, Il Kobo di Cappadocia?
It's good to hold your hands. Did you like it when I stroked your hair?
I did, Kobo, I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy, before this happened to my face and my body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this. I mean...
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Working so close to the fumes coming from the corpse must be hard. You realize suddenly that the lieutenant has been barely keeping it together these past two items.
Or Kim.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Nope.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and
Yeesh.
viscous.
This is not a pleasant
as the lieutenant
experience.
moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Okay.
Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Huh. Okay.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there, sickly sweet.
Oh no.
Unlike anything living, you feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking.
Okay.
Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Okay, write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
I don't think so.
Neither am I.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
NA.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Oof.
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
Completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still
We
do.
already have one test as per regulation, and we already requested semen.
Pigs requested semen like it's no big deal.
I'm not even interested in these boring mulkus anymore. I haven't sucked him off or anything.
Can we change it to toxicology? Seems prudent.
At a request, then, we'll know if drugs or poisons remain in his blood. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with it.
Okay, let's request toxicology instead of semen.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Okay, write that down.
Gastrointestinal.
Ew.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
Write it down, keep the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries, summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Head,
Bite marks.
chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And
Okay.
your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal
Agreed.
post-mortem.
Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
The lieutenant's admission has caused great gratitude in Kuna. He is silent with it. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Definitely non-fatal post-mortem.
Right. Next,
Ligature mark.
a dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
I don't think this is what killed him.
He is deep in thought, eyes fixed on the bright red ring around the dead man's neck.
Why do you say that?
I'm serious. I don't think this was the injury that killed him.
Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal?
Why weren't his hands tied? A big man like this, I would tie his hands when marching him to the gallows.
Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrist. That part got blurry for me. The stench. But you're right, I was ready to call this. Now I think we should leave it empty, at least for the time being. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. But, personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success. We requested a test to be run on the genitals. That was the règle. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
So, what now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Okay, let's rip out a copy.
For processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head,
Yeah.
also looking at the corpse.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
At the autopsy, you said you have ancient mysteries.
Oh yes, Kobo Milobo, in the gift horse's mouth. Tracts and wakes and waterways. Ancient materials buried.
Yeah, but to where, brother?
Just a small gulp away. My beloved Kobo. A small gulp away.
Okay.
Come back later, Kobo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Let's increase our perception. So now we have a better percentage on this check. So I want to give it a try. We'll get another chance to do this if we fail it.
Your arms reach out and your eyes close.
Success.
As if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh. First with your fingertips. It's right under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose. his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
Play with it. This feels right. I'm not gonna open my eyes. I think that will make it more difficult.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile, even through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Let's look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth.
Oh?
Looks like he's laughing. Death
We found
fumes
something.
rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius. The edges are dark.
It's a bullet wound. This guy was shot. Say fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Kuno nods, too. He takes a step closer.
Touch it with your finger gently.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put the finger in.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Yeah, get right into his brain.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
Feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex.
Push deeper.
Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into
I think
both
we're onto something
hemispheres.
big here.
The ululations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet.
There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Quivering with awe.
Even the kids are super invested in what's happening.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper
Oh,
until you feel it.
is
on the
that
tip
it?
of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger.
I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
Inspect it first.
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside.
Huh.
The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
Mm-hmm.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Uh-huh.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Her voice is absolutely sizzling with excitement.
Okay, we've got a very high chance here. Who wants to bet that this will fail? Okay. Let's give it a shot. Success.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
Whisper. I got it.
My pig's fucking got it?
He's watching his old man get the big prize at the claw game.
What? What is it?
Slowly pull your fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
Uh-huh.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
Drop it in.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-calibre. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Can I have it?
Of course. You deserve it. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4.
Haha.
Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds about right.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Agreed.
And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
Haha.
he's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Agreed.
I have had my doubts about this since you told me he was doing something else at the time of his death. I don't have that kind of intuition. I don't usually trust it. But it made me doubt. There have been other signs too. Small things. We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
We didn't fall for it, he thinks. There's pride in there.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
Think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
So, what happens next?
We put him in a bag and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. The body bag should contain the odor for the duration of the transport. I would drive him to processing, but it's too late to do that today. I'll do it first thing tomorrow. No problem. One more thing. This was really good work, detective.
The
Oh.
word lingers in the air of the yard. As far away dogs are barking, further yet the sound of motor traffic. Detective.
Okay. I don't want to get rid of you just yet. Maybe there's something new here. Tell me something.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Nope.
Come back later.
Whew, okay. So that was more than I was expecting to achieve this early in the game. Like, usually you don't do all that stuff until, like, at least the second day. But we got all that stuff done right away. Jeez. Okay, so I'm gonna cheat with my game knowledge a little bit, because I do know that there's something that can be done. And I kind of want to yeah. Yeah, I'll talk to people on the way.
Hello, sir.
Just you.
Step right in. The store is open.
I am law. I'm just gonna say hello.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
What kind of a store is this anyway?
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
What's a book? What's a book?
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter.
What's a postcard?
A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side and send it to your friend or beloved.
She is unfazed by your questions. She would consider it impolite to point out any perceived weirdness.
What's a board game?
Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several different ones, but sailors here mostly buy cards.
Interesting, thanks.
My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know?
Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
What's your name?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
And you're standing out here in the cold because...
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling. But she's cold.
I could help by brutally dismantling the free market.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to help Mum out with the store. My name is... Feel free to step in and browse our web. I'm signalling that...
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages
Okay, let's
of the
try that
books on the
again.
counters. She covers her face, smiling. But she's cold.
You're cold. Can I help in some way?
Kind of you to offer, sir.
What could you do to help her anyway?
I should have a word with the store owner, maybe?
Oh, no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice
Luring
in my
in
back bottle to
customers.
keep warm.
Shouldn't you be at school or something?
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Isn't going to school more important than this?
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
There is stress and unease behind these words. She's reciting etiquette.
So, how's the business going?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid
Peachy.
at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Oh?
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Cursed in what way?
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go...
Bankrupt.
Exactly. But we've been doing fine so far.
This sounds rather serious. I should probably look into this.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case. But I don't see much more to look into here.
Please do look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games you asked about are also there, sir.
What do you know about the other failed businesses?
Nothing really, sir. Mum doesn't allow me to sneak around in the back rooms or the cellar. I don't really know what's there.
So, how does this curse manifest itself?
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we were talking about whether it's appropriate to stand out in the freezing weather.
Kim the skeptic. But Kim, the plasmic manifestations.
No such thing.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, sir?
Enough about the curse for now.
Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead.
What is this crime business?
Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Wait, not crime fiction. I need to know what crime is. It's that bad.
Crime is what we were solving before this conversation began.
Why would anyone want to read about crime?
It's exciting to people, I guess. They get to imagine dangerous things, and it's kind of like a puzzle, where you can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him.
I'm a policeman myself, by the way. I just asked you what crime was.
You don't look much like a policeman.
Well, no kidding. Okay, then maybe I'm not a policeman, or should stop being one.
Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
Wow, look at that. Look at the guy. I'll never be as good as Mullen.
Don't say that. He's not even real. You're real.
That's right, a real failure.
Cheer up, sir. No need to compare yourself to a fictional character. Maybe you can show me some real deductive police work, sir. Like in the books.
Okay, I'm going to deduce something now.
You failed to deduce anything substantial.
What? I had
She
such a high
waits
chance, though.
intently.
I'm a detective. I deduce that you are a girl.
Come on, anyone would notice that.
Okay. So I can do that again later, maybe. What's
It's the
romance?
type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir.
What about when both of the men are bad?
These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
What if it's written really well?
Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting.
What about when everyone's poor?
That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life.
Sometimes you have to write about real life things.
Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
What about a book where the man and lady business doesn't work out at all?
I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum.
Yeah, you think she has one about an excruciatingly painful breakup?
I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though.
No, think about it. One where they plunge into a torrid spiral of pain and recrimination. Only it's really long and drawn out. Scarred for life. Phantom limb.
No, I don't know.
Doesn't ring a bell? Alright, I'll ask your mom.
Yes, she knows books. Definitely.
You clearly have issues you need to address.
No kidding. What about a poor man getting a rich lady?
It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something.
I see.
Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end.
That's enough romance for me. I had other questions.
Maybe some about other books?
Who are these famous people?
Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them. I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Can I become famous by reading one of these books?
I don't know about that, but I imagine life is great when you're famous.
These famous people sound like a bunch of dorks.
Annette's expression remains ever so helpful, but she doesn't say anything.
Yeah, you heard me. Only losers waste their time with that garbage.
Isn't that kind of a childish thing for a grown-up to say?
What makes you think I'm grown up?
You look all wrinkly and hairy, like an old person.
I'm not that old. I'm doing just fine, thank you very much.
If you say so, sir.
Okay, bye. See you around in it.
Hey, psst.
Ooh, me?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Again?
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've
Yeah.
built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
Can't argue with that.
So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true?
How come there's word on the street?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Oh, right. That sounds like me.
Funky style. Very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
Wait, first, what's this communism even about?
Failure. It's about failure.
Failure?
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped and pissed on. Until you came along.
Oh?
You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist.
I'm the last communist.
Now get to work, comrade.
Roll up your sleeves and start building communism.
Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Wait, what? Firing squads? You didn't say anything about those.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Okay, okay. So now we have this extremely important thought, and we do have a free slot we can use to internalize it. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna narrate this quick. People think communism was some crazy idea that had its comeuppance 40 years ago. A fever that shook the world, never to return again. They were right, until he woke up today. A spiritual corpse responsive only to the call of Commodore Red, prostitutes, and the Karamazov. For him, communism is still a thing. He will single-handedly raise the commune of O2 from the oceanic trench where it has been resting, covered in ghosts and seaweed. He is a big communism builder. Come, witness his attempts to rebuild communism in the year 51. Okay, so we have that thought going now. Let's check these displays out. Rose, a pistol, and a half-naked dame. Very muscular man surrounded by flames. Book about pate. This book, you don't really understand what it's about, nor does it seem important. This is a book about Guadero culture, promotes freedom and roaming upstream. Book about the future, the government reads your mind using radio technology. Okay, let's enter the store. I believe, I think my model is blocking the time, but we're at, about 16... Let's see. Let this load up. Yeah, it's 16:02, like the equivalent of 4 p.m., I believe. So we can talk to this lady.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance.
Hello, Plaisance.
Welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
Energy,
Golden
huh?
pendant hangs around the woman's neck, in the shape of what looks like a tiny fish head trapped in amber.
You can beg for money. A curious pendant you're wearing.
Oh yes, helps to have an anchor in these times.
So, are you the owner of the store?
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Her voice is high-pitched, as if to give it more penetration.
She has fine-tuned her voice to find the most welcoming approach for attracting new customers. It doesn't work.
Your daughter is the one standing outside the store, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post, doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store.
I'm not going to grade a human being. I don't do that.
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer.
10. She's certainly very polite and helpful.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor.
You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening.
Depends. How much do you pay the kid?
Good sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her, as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there.
Slap the cuffs on her.
I formally reprimand you for your corrupt activities.
Oh, of course, officer. Good work. Are we done with the jokes now?
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong.
Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business.
I think I need to pass the check outside to go further on this subject. So let's change it.
The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
The girl outside mentioned that this place is cursed.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
Oh?
Doesn't feel like it's thriving. Feels ghostly.
What if I want to buy a book?
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? See those shelves there? Go. Be drawn.
Very effective marketing here. So, what types of books do you have?
Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The shelves compel you, don't they?
She's attempting to mentally direct you towards the shelves. She only wants you to buy the goods. She doesn't care about the books.
Do you even know what books you have for sale?
Truth be told, not really. My sister brings in most of the goods. I'm sure it's all very literary stuff with well-written prose. But you don't learn about the important things in life from fabricated stories.
Oh wait, shouldn't a storekeeper know about her wares?
I provide a valuable service. As long as people buy books, I'm fine.
Where do you learn about the important things then?
The truth is available if you just know where to look, and you have to open and free your mind to understand.
Alright, I'll take a look then.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
Farewell for now, book peddler. Let's see here.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages.
I don't think I can afford a board game, so we'll leave that be for now. I think there's something up here that's funny. Wait, picture book brochure?
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People.
That's the famous people. What's here?
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services.
How does that work?
It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to and which costs more than this book, is garbage and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything. Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note, when it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place.
Does the book say anything else?
The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. It even lists plants you can harvest magnesium from. How to continue drinking if you're an alcoholic who has destroyed
yes, the
his
important
liver.
stuff.
And there's even a chapter on the ancient Seraise tradition of using duck gallbladder preservatives to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre and post factum apply. Nothing worth buying. This is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this?
Find something truly otherworldly.
You sense something ominous emanating from the shelf, but it lacks form and substance. And soon enough, you lose track of it.
Failed a really high check again. Just like at the beginning. Let's see what's here.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name
Here we go.
over and over. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books. Thrilling tales of spycraft and daring do. Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Sure thing.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An obvious lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's funeral pyre.
There's so much
The
Dick
murder
Mullen.
of Dick Mullen.
Dick Mullen dies?
Oh no. Turns out he faked it to solve a case.
Are there any more?
Yes, there's also the dame who did it. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. Come on. This is not the way real police solve crimes. The real police are some 20 kilometers away, sitting in an armored motor carriage.
Come on, Chester. Tell the story again.
Again? Man, I tell that one at least once a month. It's not that interesting.
The fuck it is. And these guys haven't heard it. You see, Chester here.
Gosh, why?
A very fucking dangerous case, ain't that right, Chester? They almost got you that time.
Yeah, sure came close. Alright, so I was tailing this guy called Francis.
Francis the Shoe. The inside of the motor carriage is thick with cigarette smoke. Outside, it starts to rain.
After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen?
Who is Dick Mullen?
Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity.
What do we have here? Mistaken Identity.
A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic Hard-Boiled Phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence.
Why does this speak to me?
Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals?
No, it's gotta be something else.
Perhaps you're drawn to the dark and noirish atmosphere.
No, that's not it either.
Is it because the smoking dame in the slinky red dress on the cover is giving you a hard-on?
What? No, that's not what's happening. Honest.
Yes, it is. The bulge in your pants is embarrassingly obvious. Relax. It's not that bad. Also, this means your blood flow is returning to normal. Good news, really.
Something the matter, detective?
Kim, would you describe this woman as a smoking dame?
The lieutenant narrows his eyes and contemplates the book for a moment.
I would certainly say she fits the description, providing that's your type.
Okay, we can't afford it. But we are definitely coming back for that later. We want to check this out.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Shopkeeper, what's behind the curtains?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
Examine the strange cage-like trinket.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you.
Let's ask her about it if we
Hello
can.
again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Cursed.
Doesn't feel like it's thriving.
Okay, let's just exercise our
The
authority
curtains,
here.
tattered with age. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
But I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold.
You do? My God, even more reason not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
This is about the curse? That's why you're afraid?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
Man, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
I don't care, you can't stop me. I'll open them.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust.
Okay, I'll talk to her first. This my inland empire is warning me.
Officer, and welcome to crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Why are you so uptight about those curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn.
Go buy some goddamn books.
She's so tense, it's a miracle she hasn't snapped in half yet.
If it's just a storage room, then why are you so tense?
I'm not tense, I'm just...
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped frown. Then something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said, they don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains. Take it
yeah,
easy.
she's worried about
You've
the
broken
curse.
resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing.
Have you sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough.
Is your pendant part of the wards as well?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
How's that been
There are
working?
numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
I'm starting to see why this is a doomed commercial district. So, how does this curse manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
A shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Annette mentioned that the previous tenants have experienced some financial troubles.
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence. As if I was unwanted
An
here.
eerie lingering presence?
Sounds familiar.
Strange. I feel unwanted too. What does it mean?
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
Why didn't you just tell me right away it's the curse?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism. It's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths.
Void wraiths. Let's treat this seriously, just because it seems like it would be fun. Would you like me to take the case? I could investigate, see if the curse is real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
Psychic arts? Sounds right down our alley.
And a few more questions about the curse.
Okay, but please, only a few questions.
No, we've
The
asked
woman before you
these.
scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
Convince her to let you investigate the doomed commercial area.
Slither.
Wait,
up
it
to
succeeded.
her, you serpentine fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
We actually succeeded. Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I sense the psychic emanations from afar. The sleeper beyond calls out.
I'm not sure I can trust your claims. Honestly, you look like a bit of a drinker. I'm sorry for being so blunt, but
The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook. Go ahead then. Rock her world, he thinks. I'll compose some notes.
You see, it's necessary to drink the spirits in order to contact the void.
how do you know all this?
Here we go.
I am the Void Revenant. I have the powers to debad all the bad energies.
I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been more chance.
Perhaps you truly are the one to deliver this woman from the doom.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
No problem whatsoever. Your family is safe. The phantoms are no match for me.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
On my honor.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
The
Do
entity.
not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Of course, the entity, for I have sensed its presence.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimney, the passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin.
Farewell for now, book peddler. We have our next quest.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another
Okay.
room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
So we can open these without her freaking out now.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Okay. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Anything interactable in here? No, just the door.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
So we could try to break it down. No point in that when we have the key, though.
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
Open and enter. Oh, we can talk to Kim.
What is this place?
It's the netherworld, beyond the veil.
No, it's a gym. So
No,
looks
it's a
like
gym.
one's been here, no? I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
What if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages?
Yes, because it's closed. No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, we need to play the believer to Kim's skeptic. That will be funnier. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. Smells like leather and sweat. The poster says, Citius Fortis, the rest is worn out.
A barbell lies on
There's
the
a
floor.
barbell.
The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. Why does it feel so familiar?
Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone.
I feel like this is gonna hurt us, so let's not do that. We're super turbo weak. Worn out wall bars, they look unsafe. Let's see, is there anything else in here? Ooh, there's something on the floor here. That's a shot put ball. And I think that's it. Alright. I think we'll want to, whip our flashlight here. And that'll help us see stuff. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Poor animals, no rest for their bodies after death. A large demijohn full of strange liquid. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. A naked mannequin torso. Strange yellow color. Blue velvet, soft to the touch. Moth bitten. There's some drawers here with some money. There's a room in here. Skis with slipstream printed on a laminated top layer. Steel rotor blades bearing a slipstream logo. Production schedule filament memory. Huh. The cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand, its intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads, Production Schedule. Note, this filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Interesting. If we find one of those computers, we can read this. But where are the clothes it used to display? It's back here. Another hallway. Let's check this out first.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Inspect the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic.
Strange creatures.
Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the welkin. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all.
Yeah, imagine that.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures.
Whisper, one of them is a Welkin supremacist.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Why would anyone spend so much time on this?
Some people really like building a world, I think. Even if it's just for a game.
Stares at the audience. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone.
Inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Okay, so schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production.
Oh god. So that hits as a somebody in tech. There are all these systems like Sprint, Agile. It's all fake. Like, it's just stuff somebody made up. It's not like the system, the most optimal system. It's just something people made up so they have standardized schedules and they feel less like their projects are the chaotic messes that they truly are. That's a bit of honesty from me to you. Sprints, agiles, waterfalls, cascades. They're all just structures people made up. Sometimes they work for individual people, but it's very rare that they will be perfect for an entire group of people. It's good for the higher-ups, though. They get to see all this structure, they get to see, oh, things are on schedule. We have these issues, we have blah blah blah. It gets to be a bit much. I love a lot of things about tech, but there's a lot of things about it that are very cult-like and weird.
It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Everyone is constantly teetering on the edge of the abyss. An abyss
Yeah.
of production.
God, nailed
These
it.
squares look orderly, but beneath them is chaos, worry, pain.
Yep. That's what happens. Keep reading. What
As
happens?
time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Yep.
Looks like they didn't make it.
Yep. So we can get a stat up here. Let's see. I'm going to save it for when, like, I fail a check or something that I really want to try again.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Projection schedule filament for details. We have that. So if we find a computer, we can see the production schedule. Back the
The
notes.
handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune Out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe.
Heat Death of the Universe.
The full text reads, "Heat Death of the Universe is the new black."
It's a new black.
Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s.
Okay. I think we're starting to get a picture of what's going on here.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very esoteric.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
So, we're dealing with something... Of course, the anatomy of the curse.
Perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations, All lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap.
Wait, who's the game master?
Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people.
If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara.
Huh.
All of this is gone, left unrealized.
Big dreams, but couldn't make it.
My
Well, that's
God.
what happens.
It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Yep, that's how it works. Man, I have never seen something nail what project management is really like this tiny section of this game. It's amazing. The cost of airwidth alone must have been huge.
Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Huh. What's up here? Scribbled across the notebook. Developers the most advanced RPG in the universe. Yeah, so much for that. There's something here we can interact with.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button, a piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind?
Yeah, it's a computer. It's like wouldn't something like this be like stolen? Or like the next owner would have like, oh awesome, a free computer.
This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
Let's turn that on.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Look inside the compartments.
It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
Insert the production schedule.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Press play.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What's the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
You mean that glowing thing I put inside?
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
You should ask her for a hint.
Password? I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint?
No.
Is it my birthday?
Still no.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Why did you call me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
That's some name for a company. Fortress Accident. Do you have any other information about this company?
One moment.
You hear her flip through a catalog before she reads out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
And what's that? This interactive call-in radio game.
Any other questions?
What are you, a machine, or are you alive?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
Okay, but where are you? How did you know where I am?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Doesn't it get lonely doing this job?
Lonely? Why would it get lonely? I get to talk to people all day.
That's why she does this.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident.
That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering.
So what does print do?
Nothing happens.
Okay. So what if we remove it?
Slides out of its glowing nest.
Press play.
Nothing happens. Something's missing. Nothing happens.
Okay. Kim has something to say.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Someone tried to exorcise the curse using technology.
No, that's not it. I think...
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it.
So these people are trying to make a D&D video game.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
How are they planning to do that?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
Has anyone ever done this before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
And this was a role-playing game?
Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
The curse got them. I see no other explanation.
Ah, yes. The doom of bad business practices. Okay, let's keep moving.
And that goes further in here, but I want to double back a little bit. Did I check this? No. Get that money. Yeah, let's look in here.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives.
Knock on it.
What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens.
Knock harder.
Still nothing. No one's home.
Knock harder.
Those curtains prove to be surprisingly
So we healed
sturdy.
ourselves.
Your fist hurts now. If this is really an entrance to the chimney, then there must be a furnace somewhere as well. Maybe there's another way to get in.
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things?
I need to find the malignant entity, Kim. This is the chimney.
Ghosts aren't real. Didn't your parents tell you that? In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's investigate further.
Okay, okay. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Floorboards creak. What's up here? Postcard, La Delta 51. Nothing else here. Okay, let's go back to the back door back here. Okay. What's here? Money and magnesium. Wind howls in from the coal chute above.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red.
What is this thing? It looks like a giant ice bear.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Crack open the door.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator.
Bear refrigerator.
The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Relax, Kim. It's a fridge.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
Yes, let's look
The
inside.
shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it in the door.
Examine one of the ice cream wrappers in there.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
Little bit of a marketing mismatch there.
The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
What's a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
So, they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
Lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Close the door. Handwritten note from the fridge.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sully Swaff.
I wonder who wrote that
Looks
note.
like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe it's because of the entity.
That's implausible.
Remind me again, what's a filament memory?
It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
It's like the production schedule you found. Only this one's an off-site copy.
Who's the illiterate ginger kid?
Really? You don't have a single guess?
You mean Kuno?
Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Okay, so I should interact with that once we're out of here. Wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
I'm gonna leave that for now. We'll check it out later. An ice cream maker. Flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. Huh. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are we?
Seems like an old bunker from the Revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Look, there's a hole in the wall.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Okay, I do.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Rifles, Kim.
Are these any good?
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
This one looks nice.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
What's this mean, a rifle here?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Okay, so we found some cool stuff here. We want to find an ice cream maker. Ah, here's one that's still running.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Turn the ice cream crank.
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur.
Try to crack open the lid.
You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you. No, this is going to need something else. Some kind of super pry bar. Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Okay. So let's give that a try. But first, let's save. Because we might hurt ourselves.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that. We need a better tool for this. We got some money in Nosifed here. That's nice. There's an interactable here.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
What if we unplug this?
Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
Because it's black, the color of immeasurable cosmos.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has 1 cable missing.
So what does that do?
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
So that will make it easier, but we still do need a better tool to deal with this. So we'll leave that be for now. What's in here? Insane mesh tank top. Let's put that on. His +1 drama. Intercom wires running into the breaker box. Okay. I think I've checked everything I wanted to. So let's move on to the furnace here.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Kim, what is this thing? Is it a furnace?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
I'm hallucinating, or maybe it's... I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
Those voices I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity? Plaisant said it lives in a chimney.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Smear your hands with
layer
coal.
of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient.
You feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai, ancient hero of Grad, pulsing through you. All that's left is to cover your face in war paint.
Hadramut Kazai, smear your cheeks black with coal.
3 dangerous stripes appear onto your cheeks, telling stories of your wild soul.
What are you doing?
I am the reincarnation of an ancient Ilmarian woman warrior.
Please wipe your face clean, officer.
Don't wipe it.
These 3 stripes give you strength in this dangerous realm.
We're exploring this dark place, and I need the protection my war paint affords.
And this protects you.
This is traditional war paint. It will grant me safe passage with the spirits that guard this place.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
I want to save before I kick. That seems like it might possibly hurt.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Kick it with your foot. Yeah, that's what I thought.
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe...
I'm gonna load. I don't want to use that. Okay.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
So let's try this physical instrument check. Probably fail.
Muster all your strength and yell. Your dehydrated, hungover throat can produce little more than a dry croak. A lifetime of smoking and drinking will do that to you. The chatter from the chimney continues on as before. You seem to have made no impression on whatever's up there. Then again, maybe it's worth actually trying something up there.
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
So let's go back up there and try something. Okay, let's go back out here. We might be able to figure something out to do here.
As before, an iron safety curtain curves before your eyes. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney.
Hello? I yelled, but it didn't work.
Again, your voice becomes a raspy croak mid-sentence. It's silent in the abandoned office building. No one answers you. A sudden bout of self-pity comes over you. Again, a sudden bout.
Maybe we can try it again. Okay.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it.
Yeah, we don't get another chance on that yet. Okay. Let's go out. It's snowing.
man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour, he looks less like a creature and more like a pile of intestines. The
Okay.
lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners.
Okay,
and my
I think we're
memento
done.
mori. All right.
I wanted to come around for the buddy cop bit with the paranatural stuff there, but
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
okay, let's bag him. If you haven't found the bullet, you can keep the body in that bear freezer that I saw. That's what I did the first time I played this game. But yeah.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Oh right, we can do that thing with the headlights.
Alright, ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage.
Press engine
The
start.
dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canela comes to life with a whiny growl. Like a leopard waking from its sleep, yawning and roaring at the same time.
Press the button labeled headlights.
The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Okay.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Look at the shimmering street grid.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Wait, look around you.
A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry.
Ah, Martinez.
Where are we on this?
Let me see. Right here.
Seems nice.
No, it does not.
Look at the perforations.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Tally up the different rows.
The first row has 18 dots.
Not bad.
Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet.
What about the next one?
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
Count them individually.
There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
What about the last row?
The last row has 3 perforations. As you look at them, you feel your index finger reflexively contract 3 times.
Seems like something I've done before.
And something you'll do again before this is all over.
Hey, Kim, what do all these holes mean?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look. The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Got drunk like a megastar?
Yes, that does seem quite likely. Your youth coincided with some heady days for Revachol. But let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see... Wow, more than 200.
Is that a lot?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
Oh, hey, Heavy Man of Beasts. Sorry if I missed you. I've been kind of focused here. So you're saying I used to be a super cop?
Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now, let's look at the last row.
You know the answer already. The tingle in your index finger gave it away.
Those are my confirmed kills. 3 of them.
That's right. How did you know?
Because I felt a twitch in my index finger.
Ah, right. Sometimes the brain's able to preserve certain responses even when conscious memory has been, let's say, misplaced.
Oh yeah, if you have questions, go ahead and ask. I don't mind.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked the man across the desk from her. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankles over said desk. I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and don't really think about it. There's no trace of guilt in his voice.
Oh, well, I can show you right now. So I have a focus on psyche with intellect and physique very weak and average motorics. And my special skill is Inland Empire. I put a little into visual calculus, endurance, hand-eye coordination, and perception so far. And as for my thoughts so far, I have Hobo Cop and the volumetric shit compressor, and I'm working through Mazovian socioeconomics. So that's what I'm working with so far.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident.
It's obvious the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers.
But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
Yeah, I intentionally made one that wouldn't necessarily be good, but would have some fun things to say. Have you ever killed anyone, Kim?
Yes.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
So how do you handle the strain?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Yeah, I was considering between either Inland Empire or a drama, because those two seem like they're generally the most, like, out there and entertaining. Like what?
Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
Maybe I should find a hobby.
Why not gardening? You've already got those.
Yeah, I've had those on for ages now.
It's meant in earnest.
Like the whole
Please don't
day.
mistake it for a jab.
Thanks for
The
this.
lieutenant nods.
Okay, let's go.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
Okay.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Where's it coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Yeah, that's me. I've been establishing my superstardom hard lately.
Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Miller, Salam Rocky Bayi, badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera, lights.
Action!
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
Okay. We have a superstar thought. I think I have a point I can use to unlock one. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's internalize superstar. Gonna be a superstar communist hobo with his shit together. Oh yeah, it's fun to consider like builds and stuff in this, because it like can completely change your experience and like what you can explore easily, the whole approach you take to the case, and the sort of surrounding smaller mysteries. Very fun. Oh yeah, Shivers is a cool one. I think it is one of the skills that sort of ties closest to the overall themes of the game, if that makes sense. It's sort of feeling the city as an entity in its own right, and it's pretty cool.
This Post Lavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front. A faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk number 8102, with a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant.
Good mail delivery box, Pat.
The box seems happy. Eat shit, pig, fucked by the coon, and Saint G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also.
Been there. Post Laventia mail collection box. Been there.
The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow.
I love you, mail collection box. Okay. I don't need this stuff. I'm gonna take it back off. I'm gonna go talk to this lady again. I forget if you can do anything if you haven't been able to get to the dice lady yet.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? in that dark sarcophagus?
Dark sarcophagus.
Yes, yes. How was it?
It was a charnel house of failed business enterprises, leeching life energy from this bookstore.
I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
No, not yet. I'm gonna need to come back to that check. So, on the plus side here, I managed to get very lucky with that body and all the checks, and so it's properly ready to go in the car.
I can't believe it's snowing again. It felt like springtime just a few days ago.
Body's gone.
Like, gone?
It was sent to processing in the morgue.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, officer. Looks like I'll get mint in the ground by April.
I have to run. Okay, If you tell the lady that the,
a radio microphone,
body's
pull-out
gone.
tools, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Please connect me to Sylvie.
Just a second, officer. Sylvie Malaika on the line for you, officer. Yes, hello?
It's the police again.
Oh, great. What else do you need, detective?
We do have a few more questions. Do you know who put the victim's clothes in the trash?
No, I don't know. It wasn't me. I haven't been out there since. I was terrified of the stench and the corpse.
So, do you know how my paperwork ended up in the trash container behind the whirling?
Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir. Clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it.
Yeah, fair enough. It's
I'm sorry about that. Anything else, detective?
That's a very obvious response to that.
Breaking up on the other end of the radio. And
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
Let's see if there's anything we can do with the 41st.
Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
No, I don't want to do that.
Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
Okay, we're done here. Oh, actually, I wanted to take a look at this bullet here.
the bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What do I do with you, Bullet?
What?
I said, what do I do with you, Bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say, find the weapon that shot me.
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Let's feel it.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag.
Let's inspect it closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the jackets.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a jacketed bullet close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez. Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Oh, so it's going to be a pretty unique gun. So that makes it easier to narrow it down.
Something tells you that won't be anytime soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
Oh. We actually get a pretty good roll on this check. Let's give it a shot.
A rifle. Revolutionary. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique.
Make?
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
So is anyone still making these?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Belmargrave rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I think I know where this came from.
Okay. And?
The shot probably came from a Belmargrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Ravachol, really.
That's probably a good thing.
I have to hand it to the monarchs. It's quite admirable that they took the advice of criminologists last century and banned the use of breech loaders in peacetime. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Makes you consider every shot. I like it.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Seems we're looking for an antiques enthusiast.
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
Okay, so that's all we have to do now. Okay, what do I want to do next? We still have a little bit of time in this day. Oh, I remember you.
Welcome to Ivashol.
Why are you addressing my partner like that?
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
The lieutenant's impassive mask has been replaced with intensity. He speaks not as a cop, but as a citizen. He is Vacholier, a Revacholian.
You tell him.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Limbo, what's going on here?
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Revachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
Yeah, sure.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Fucking A, Kim, I got your back.
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness. You sense slight embarrassment for the outburst. Or is it pride? Impossible to tell.
Now that that's settled, we have a couple of questions.
Whatever you say, officers.
He smells of heavy motor oils, and his breath of high tar coated
we
cigarettes.
still have that racist mug. I forgot about that. I found this mug in the trash. Yours?
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go.
Yeah, of course a racist likes the racist mug. Figures. Is it yours?
Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
What was that argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races.
Yep, racist.
Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Oh, so you're just a racist. Makes sense.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books. Huh? The science of...
I'm not just a racist. I've read racist
even
books.
if some people don't want to accept it.
Sure, sure.
People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
Yes, I can really tell that you're a prime example of superior design.
Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources.
Yeah, what's the problem with that then?
The problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other introduced species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
Wait, what's this cultural victory?
It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any motetos or leader? No. Dominating culture is how they plan to win. They say so themselves.
Uh-huh.
It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
Yeah, I'm not down with this. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Don't push your luck, runt.
Okay, bye, racist. Free t-t-t-t. Sick. Yellow roses, dozen of them, tulips too. Melancholy pop song. What's this?
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back. The packages are small, discreet, sloppily stacked, making them easier to take unnoticed. No need to worry about knocking over a display.
There's coats there.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
What's this machine?
Oh, that's the tear machine.
Yes, but what is it?
It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine, then it gives you money.
I see. And how do I pick up tear for the tear machine?
You need a bag, I guess. We used to have some, but we gave them all out, so... Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some out there. Somewhere.
Okay. What's there?
A small cabinet
that's the medicine.
is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
I want to save up a little bit.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
Before we go on, what is this Fritz?
I don't know. Frit?
And what is Fritz?
A 7 to 11 grocery store.
Why is it written with free teas?
I think they think that the extra tea makes it funkier. It doesn't.
Let's proceed. I have some questions for you.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
Does Fritz have a warehouse in the back of the Whirling in Rags?
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
This is important.
She scrunches up her face into an expression of consummate adolescent skepticism.
Abandoned Australia? What was it for? The, communism?
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here.
Oh, yeah. They use drugs to heal up. Can you tell me anything about the dead body?
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
Did you know the man who died?
Not really.
Not really? Doesn't mean you knew him a little?
No. I didn't know him at all.
How long has it been there?
I don't know, really long.
What do you think happened?
I don't know.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you hear anything, let us know, okay?
Okay.
Thank you for your help.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me anything about this reality we're in?
Reality? You mean, what reality? Economic reality, or...?
Yes, tell me about the economic reality.
I don't really know anything. I mean, I'm 15.
15 is an excellent time to learn about the economic reality.
Yeah, that's why I'm working my arse off in Frit. So I guess, like, that's economic.
What about the physical reality, then?
I don't know. What about it?
Where are we?
We're in Frit?
No, I mean, where are we on a larger scale?
As mankind, or as a nation, or...
As a mankind.
In a good place. I mean, science is doing great, and this radio computer thing seems to be kinda big. I don't know.
What time is it?
I don't know. Look at the clock. It's right behind you on the wall.
The clock shows the time at 10:09. The hands seem to be still. It's apparent the clock doesn't work.
What is the revolution?
When ordinary people take over the government and demand democracy.
What about the one we had here in Revachol?
Yeah, it happened like 50 years ago or so. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. At history, I mean.
Okay, so the coalition, what's that? Someone told me there is one.
Our government? Or do you mean something else? Sorry, I really need to finish this article.
I won't bother you with this nonsense anymore.
Cool.
There's a strike going on here.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
What's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
Why should I?
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
Okay, then I'm thinking no.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side.
I don't think I've chosen any sides yet.
Might be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. Cops tend to side with the higher-ups, but you're essentially still workers. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the...
Right to work! Right to work!
Kind of a cause are we talking about?
Rights of people, rights of workers, to have gainful employment, to make a salary, and feed their families.
Regardless, I have some questions for you.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
Oh yeah, I know
Shame on
about
you!
the skill point. I like to save those in case I get to a check I want to try twice.
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
I actually need to speak with the union boss.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. Why you want to meet that fat asshole?
I'm interviewing people about a murder that took place here, behind the hostel cafeteria there.
I know nothing about a murder.
The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him.
Absolutely nothing.
Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to stay alive.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
I don't know.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
What's a strike?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
What do the strikers want?
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we
have the right to work!
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting.
Oh, you've been on strikes before? How'd they work out? Like, did they succeed? Were you able to get the bosses at the negotiating table? Ill-fitting, what does that mean?
His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence.
You wearing new clothes?
He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air. The clothes are obviously not his.
Who are all these strike breakers?
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
Okay, I gotta ask, where exactly are you from?
What's it to you?
Routine, part of the investigation.
Am I a suspect? Done no crimes. I only fight for the rights of people.
Already got that. I'm interested in your background.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
I'm a bouncer? Where? I frequent a lot of bars. Maybe it's one I know.
Worked at Territorio. Ring a bell?
Never heard of it. Are you lying?
We're done here. I have a strike to break.
Mazovian Socioeconomics.
Got our thought complete.
0.000% of communism has been built. Evil, child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmazov fucked him over personally with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
And I've almost got the superstar thought complete too. Nice. Okay. I want to go down to... I remember there was a pawn shop down here somewhere. I want to check that out before I call it a night. It's somewhere around here. Up north maybe? Hmm. Don't want to do this stuff over here yet. I think it was further down the street. Yeah. Gateway to the River of Filth. I swear it was somewhere in this area.
Scab?
I'm not a scab, I'm a cop.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money. Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
I need to get past the gates and speak with your boss.
Oh. Good, good. What matters do you want to discuss with Everard?
He might have information about a killing that took place behind the hostel.
Everard's got a lot of knowledge about a lot of things, eh? Doesn't often dole it out, though. But sure, why not?
Does this mean you can let me through the gate?
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
Beneath the jolliness, he suddenly seems doubtful.
That simple? I just walk in?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in.
Past Measurehead?
Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Semini Supremus is there. Walk right past him.
Right.
Then press the button to unlock the door.
Uh-huh.
Then go past him again.
Okay.
And you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
For some reason it doesn't seem like it's gonna be that easy.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation. Or you could convert to a Semini Supremacist worldview. Or... maybe it actually is completely impossible.
Has anyone here ever bested him in a physical confrontation?
Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong.
Has any of the scabs tried converting to his worldview?
Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition.
Got it. Another thing.
Sure.
What's the strike about, anyway?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Nice talk. Gotta get moving.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Let's look in there.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings
Stickers, insignia. Fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over you, making your eyes sting. The odor mixes with cigarette residue.
What kind of stickers and insignia?
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels.
Yeah.
A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crown with wavy rays.
What about the back seat?
The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
You think this lorry belongs to our tough guy?
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously. Hoping it's over.
Uh-huh.
Some kind of superstar. They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the ranks of demigods and have sexual encounters with barely legal cover girls. It would be insane, they say. To all this, you say, fuck off and die, in a cool voice. You people have no idea how good these cops are gonna get. They're gonna crack 20 cases a day. In the future, cops will be like astrophysicists, or prime ministers, or prophets. And you're the first one.
Okay, so that skyrocketed the caps for a bunch of our skills. So that could end up being pretty useful. But it probably won't come into play until we're pretty late in our builds. We'll take that. Thank you. White tank top. Alright. There's a monument. Old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing towards the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods. Who is this? Silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, I am Philippe III, the squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Rebashal, son of Philippe II, the opulent, father of Philippe IV, the insane.
Not a good track record of mental health in that family. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece.
What indentations? What do I see?
Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet?
Lieutenant, has someone shot the king?
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it.
What do you think?
Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement?
Political. It's a king and he's shot.
Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent to your sightings.
Let's try this.
What did he do? You have no idea what you did a week ago. How would you know what this guy did many centuries ago? High above you, the king stands triumphantly oblivious to your memory trouble.
Fair enough. That's not one of our better skills. Bearded chirps and clicks of swallows fill the air. What do I want to do? That's right. Let's get this bag out and start collecting. Literally taking it out of the garbage to dispose of it. There we go. Signal blue naval coat.
Here, Piggo.
You talking to me?
The streets will flow red once more, a great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
We just want to know your name, little lady. No need to get defensive.
And here I was trying to be polite. Just can't win with you pigs.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways.
Do you know anything about the recent murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
You keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at?
She nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier. Hatred, disgust, it's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Who is she?
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
You know me, Kim, always wacky.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to her on.
What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
So you don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti-o? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
I have an opinion on this. Want to hear it?
Yeah?
I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
Pat, pat.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
That's called reverse psychology.
Watch your back, Ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Okay. Beachside Apartments. Take that. Okay, let's talk to the rep.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Joyce L. What does the L stand for?
Baton, my maiden name.
What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
What is implied here? That you're a drunk?
I'm not a drunk, I'm a police officer.
Of course you're not. It was only a joke.
Don't shake.
I'm glad to see you here.
She is unfazed by your rudeness, probably chalking it up to local custom.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
There is a pinch of defensiveness in her voice, but it is playful.
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Caillou? I thought we were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle.
Kim loves his car.
It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
She's having a good time arguing against the law. Too good, perhaps.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
What kind of monster doesn't name their boat?
The word it feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Yeah, cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about Dolores?
Why Dolores?
I just like the name for some reason.
Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you for the suggestion.
Okay, but what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for the boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles.
I think I have a handle on the boat thing.
Good.
So, tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
So, what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
Okay.
She enjoys talking about the company. It would not hurt to inquire more.
How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
So doing pretty well then.
Billion?
We have no encyclopedia. Numbers like that mean nothing to me.
Yes, past a certain point, numbers begin to seem imaginary, but they are quite real for the 72,000 employees who depend on Wild Pines for their paychecks. A conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving and growing, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It is a tremendous responsibility.
Oh, I remember that. That's the same argument that the Onceler makes to the Lorax. In the good versions of the Lorax. So where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
What does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
You don't keep it moving. The workers do. The company is nothing without them.
We built this district. All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP. Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, The Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
What can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Wait, what if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus. I will slay it.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What's your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
No, they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gate.
She saw the racist car. Don't do that. So, strike is connected to the lynching?
Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later.
She's resolute in this, yet you sense that she wants to tell you. You'll have to earn her trust first.
Tell us more about this behemoth.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now.
How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
So what happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Not cool.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
I like it.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy.
Not hard communist enough for me.
Personally, I agree. It lacks the pizzazzo of every worker a member of the board.
What exactly do they mean by it, though? What's the demand?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
The king is dead. Long live the workers.
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
Oh, are you, were the workers satisfied with that?
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
The scabs at the gate, did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
No, I mean scabs.
If these workers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
Tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Oh, I see. So it was sort of a trade-off.
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
You sound like you're about to take a rapier to him.
Oh, heavens no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin.
Is he that bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are two of them?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Interesting
it's how they
system.
circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself outside the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
I prefer not to have an opinion on these things.
Of course, officer.
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the union's files.
Eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
That's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
What can you tell me about the lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all my memory of my life in the world.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
What kind of arrangement would it be?
I mean, favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort.
How do I negotiate my way out of this?
Easy. Just offer her a favor. Like I said, nice and dirty.
Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that until future days. I think that's the place where you find it is locked out for now.
Detective, a word in
If I
private
remember
before we
right.
continue.
Excuse us for a moment, madam.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchmen.
Really? I thought it was going so well.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
We could just, you know, find my badge.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
I'm sorry for putting us in this situation. I'll handle it.
I'm sure you will, Detective.
So what do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Okay. That sounds good. Let's get back to her then.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Okay, tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
What do you mean?
The lorries. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock,
Lorries,
they're
you
distributed
say?
to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they are vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
I wonder who specifically she might be talking about.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
You'll be indebted to her, in a way, but one step ahead of the Union in another.
Tough choice. Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
So it's fallen in the cracks of the bureaucracy.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
It's no coincidence the lorries are stranded there like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kitsuragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
That's why it's like that, okay. What proof do you have that the union's involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, but she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confide in.
Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes.
We'll take this case, probe the drivers, see what it yields.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
You know something about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you know something about the tattoos?
Better not tie the 4th day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality?
Just give me the lowdown.
No, but please, a little context. We're not in such a hurry.
Okay.
Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, you're in. Begin with the first one. You'll appear worldly.
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holder myself.
Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm. And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock.
Mm-hmm.
You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders.
A brief spike of longing in her upright body. The dots under her eyelids shake.
As I told you, Martinez used to be a province. A workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
You were here as a teenager?
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. The boys certainly did not.
You mentioned a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Vast, lukewarm, and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
What's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Okay, that's Martinet. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is Revachol?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
And what makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
The end of history. Okay, who built it?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
When was Revachol built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an important place?
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about...
A sparkle of lights on the horizon, like evening stars above the curvature of the planet.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Oh.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time.
Say nothing. Observe a large body of water swelling, cold.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, but even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
Yeah, you're right, Lieutenant. I'll continue later.
It's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Like how the game's giving me a warning. Hey, you probably don't want to get all your lore dumped at you all at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
I wanna try these checks though, at least.
6 kilometers southwest in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass.
Yeah, I really like how the sort of central gameplay of this is in dialogue. It really allows them to hyper focus on it and make it really good.
To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You're an officer of the RCM.
This abbreviation, what does it stand for?
It stands for Revachol Citizens Militia.
Good, and what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Are we?
We are.
You said de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm basically a lackey of capital?
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Say nothing.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
Let me try this 3% check.
A strange
Predictable.
coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue, a doubt of sorts, already in your head. But it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later, once the jamais vu thought is complete.
So that's all for now. Might ask more later.
The little that I know. Anything else?
Thank you, that's all for now.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
Okay. So I think this is a good place to save. And finish for today. So that was a good, 4 hours or so of streaming. I really enjoy this game. I really kind of get into the dialogues and lose track of time. But yeah, this game's fun. In a sort of cerebral and sometimes funny way. And that'll be the stream for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of the day today. It's been gay. Bye.